a good death. Now, 30 years ago, 35 years ago, when I started doing this stuff, that was not a term. We did not use that term. That was not a thing at all. And we were just trying to get things to not be ugly. And it's now, to my utter gratitude, it is now not only a thing, but it's a goal. It's not only a goal, but in order to reach that goal, it's one of those things that you kind of have to reverse engineer, and you have to start way earlier on. When I was growing up, the only thing my parents did was make sure they had money, insurance, and documentation, the will, the legal power of attorney, the medical power of attorney, if there was a trust, if a trust was relevant to have a trust. And now, again, the passing of the greatest generation really brought this to the fore. And I'm gonna get choked up about this. Right about the time these folks really started to pass in numbers, our government made a series of really unfortunate choices. They changed Medicare for the first time in like 30 or 40 years. They took away the money for elders, the people who fought and bled for freedom and democracy, so they couldn't die in a hospital anymore. And they had to go home to die before there was really hospice. This was 2006, 2007. And that changed my business on a dime. It used to be like people would call me after the death, asking to talk to the soul of the beloved dead. Every now and then I'd get called in to help a family when someone with a terminal diagnosis and a very limited amount of time to live wasn't embracing it, and they were still doing that fighting cancer thing. And a number of times, the only times I got called in to do anything other than mediumship before Medicare Part B changed in 2006, 2007, was to help the person who was dying make peace so that the family could embrace them and love them out, you know, the way we're supposed to do. And but Medicare changed, and then suddenly I'm getting these panic phone calls from people because Dad's been dying in the living room for the last 3 months, and for the last 2 weeks he's had the death rattle, and it's very unsettling. It's very, it's not bad and it's not wrong, but if you haven't, it's an indicator that it's near and that the end is near. But if you haven't had the training and you don't know what you're dealing with, it's a freak out. It is not easy to be present with at all. And so I started to get people calling me about that and asking for help and involvement, and for one reason or another, depending on the thing. And that changed. And then the good death stuff and a lot of the innovations we've had in end-of-life care, hospice, death midwifery, has come just really in the last 20 years, 19, 18 years. Not, wait, no, I don't do math. Yeah, a long time ago, a couple decades. It's good now, but we have all kinds of resources about this. These are just some of them.